So today I'll be discussing about the top 10 best courses to study in Namibia. So these are the courses that will make it easier for you to get a job upon graduation. So when we talk about the best courses to study in Namibia, we look at the demand in the near future or in future. Because a course can be on demand now, but in the near future it will be out of demand. A good example I can give you is education. 10 years ago, education graduates were guaranteed jobs. It was easy for anyone with a qualification in education to get a job. Because of the shortage in the teaching industry that was created by the transformation of education colleges into UNAM campuses. Because those who were doing diploma in higher education for 3 years in educational colleges decided to continue with their studies when their colleges were turned into UNAM campuses. So instead of going to get a job after graduation with a diploma, they decided to continue with honors degrees. So which created a shortage in the supply of teachers in the Namibian teaching industry. So because of that shortage, the demand for teachers went up, which made it easy for people with qualification in teaching to get jobs. Nursing, something happened with nursing. Back in the days, nurses were on demand in Namibia, to the point whereby our government had to go and make government agreement with Tanzania and Kenya to bring their nurses here, because there was a shortage of nurses. Now nurses are a lot. The demand for nurses has gone down a bit. So we are focusing on the future. We look at the near future. What will be on demand in the future? So if you want to get a job in the future, the following courses are the top 10 best courses you should study for the future. So the top 10 best courses in Namibia are as follows. So at number 10, we have renewable energy and green hydrogen. So as we all know, Namibia is at the forefront of green hydrogen globally. So if you study renewable energy and green hydrogen, the chances of you getting a job are very, very high, because Namibia is one of the leading producers of green hydrogen. A lot of international investors are flocking to Namibia to invest in green hydrogen, meaning there will be a demand for professionals with qualifications in green hydrogen. So if you want to work with James Monyupe, who's heading green hydrogen project in Namibia, go and get yourself a qualification in green hydrogen, because the demand is very high while the supply for professionals in green hydrogen is low. So be one of the few that are in demand. We're moving on to number 9. Number 9, we have Bachelor of Law, LLB. Law is on demand, both in the parastatal, private, NGOs, and government sector. So the supply for lawyers or for professionals with qualification in law is a bit high. Like with UNAM, they take roughly 100 full-time, roughly 100 part-time, roughly 100 distance. So the supply is a bit high, but the demand is also high for lawyers. And one other good thing about law is if you are a prosecutor, entry level in prosecution is grade 7. After 3 years of working as a prosecutor, you are automatically go to grade 5. And with magistrates in judiciary, entry level of magistrate is grade 6 with a cash scheme. That's one good thing I like about law. And with a good thing about, if you are already working, law can easily get you a good promotion. That's one thing I like about law. So law is a good course. You can easily get a job if you have a qualification in law. Then we move on to number, so reports on law. Shortage of magistrates hampering finalization of cases. This is the complaint from a judiciary. They need more magistrates to be able to finalize cases on time. Then the prosecution also, they are looking for more prosecutors to be able to fasten, to ease the work in the office of a prosecutor general. That's why this report is titled Shortage of Public Prosecutors Hampers Operation of Prosecutor General's Office. So demand for prosecutors and magistrates is very high, Even in the private sectors, the demand for legal officers is also high. So chances of you getting a job if you study law are very high. Chances of you getting a promotion at work if you're already working and you study law, very high. Moving on to number 8, occupational therapy. Occupational therapists are on demand. The supply is a bit low. So study occupational therapy, you'll easily get a job. Entry level is grade 7. We are moving on. Chartered accountants. Demand for chartered accountants is very high in Namibia. The supply is a bit low. Though chartered accountants is one of the most difficult courses one can ever study. But after getting a job, after getting a qualification, getting a job is nearly guaranteed. And the entry level is grade 7. After 3 years, automatically you go to grade 5. That's one good thing I like about chartered accountants. Then you're moving on to number 6. Number 6, we have Bachelor of Nursing. Nursing, the supply is a bit high. Registered nurses, UNAM has, Velvitia has. And there are some institutions, again, I know in Namibia, that are also giving qualifications for registered nurses. So supply is a bit high, but the demand in the near future will also be very, very high because of reports like these ones. Residents hope Katutura Hospital's 4 million upgrade will improve. So they're upgrading Katutura Hospital, expanding it, renovating it. So the more they expand it, the more the demand for nurses, especially registered nurses. Second report, the Health Ministry allocates 10 billion to address expanding population. So the government is planning to upgrade regional hospitals, upgrade and expand them, which will require a lot of nurses for them to be functional. Another report, Katutura Hospital being built in Windhoek at a cost of 2.9 billion. So after this hospital is completed, the demand for nurses will also be high. We are moving on to number 5. Number 5, we have social work. Social work is on demand because as a social worker, you can easily get a job in the NGOs, you can easily get a job in the private sector, you can easily get a job in parastatals, you can easily get a job in the government, just like nurses. Social workers and nurses are in demand in Australia, Canada, UK, and New Zealand. So once you have passed your English test in Windhoek, which allows you to go and work in the English-speaking countries abroad, the guarantee of getting a job is there. Social worker and nurses, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, and UK. You can easily get a job there. Social worker. So demand is very high. As it stands now, it's only UNAM that offers that is social work, and the Velvicha also started this year. So, but the one thing I know is even after how many years from now, social work will forever be on demand. So go for social work, you will thank me later. Moving on to number 4, Bachelor of Pharmacy, especially the Bachelor of Pharmacy from UNAM, School of Medicine. The demand is very high. Once you graduate, you hardly struggle with getting a job. Unemployment is high in Namibia, but certain courses like pharmacy can easily get you a job. And the good thing about pharmacy, entry level is grade 7. You already have fixed overtime at entry level, grade 7. We are moving on to number 3, Bachelor of Medicine. This one, there's no need for me to explain. Doctors are on demand in Namibia. Doctors are highly paid. Entry level is grade 5, fixed overtime, and cash scheme. Net after deductions is around 45 and above. So we are moving on to number 2, Petroleum, geology. So petroleum geology is currently on demand because of exploration of oil and because of the oil that has been discovered in Namibia. Billions of barrels of oil being discovered in Namibia. So petroleum geologists are on demand. lot of international companies that are operating in Namibia now, that are exploring in Namibia now, are in need of petroleum geologists. So that's why you see reports like this one. Namibia complaint with environmental laws in oil and gas exploration. Namibia poised to become leading oil producer. 10 billion barrels of oil discovered off Namibia's coast. So a lot of oil is being discovered. Demand for petroleum geologists is also going high. We are moving on to number one. Number one is petroleum engineering. Oil being discovered, we need a lot of petroleum engineers. When you see reports like this one, Namibia sees 11 billion barrels in offshore oil reserves. Reports like this one, another significant oil discovery spring up offshore Namibia. Reports like this one, Mopane oil find offshore Namibia. Find offshore Namibia could be a super giant. So a lot of oil is being discovered, meaning petroleum engineers are also on demand because of the oil industry that is booming in Namibia. So these are the top 10 best courses you should study in Namibia if you want to get a job. Best top 10, they are currently on demand. In the future, they'll still be on demand. Make the right choice and study the right courses in order for you to get a job. So please subscribe, like, comment, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe.